Why be easy when you can just die? Woo! Well, I'm Chewy Mew. Welcome back to Venom Month, day number 19, where today, alright, I'm back, and that figures the ToyBiz, the Amazing Spider-Man Toxin, that I took a look at, I think in the past, I think it might have been the past video, I think it was day number 19, or 8, I don't remember, but either way, we took a look at that Venom, and I got this figure about, like, maybe, I think, a year ago, maybe more. I think I got it for Christmas of 2021, I think. He's a lot shorter than Venom, which I don't know if it's accurate, because compared to my first ever Spider-Man figure, sort of, he's about the same height as Spider-Man, but Venom is like, what would that be, like, almost 8 feet tall, if we're going based, like, on what this would be in, like, real life kind of scale. So you may be thinking, dude, you already reviewed this Venom figure before, or this Toxin figure, and yes, I did, but I also recorded it back when my camera quality looked kind of horrendous. But either way, I got this phone a while ago, and the camera quality looks so much better, 60 FPS, really good quality. Like, you could look at his face here, and you see all the detail there on his face, which looks phenomenal. So that's kind of the reason why I'm redoing this review. Also, it works for Venom Month, too, so I get to re-review a figure that's really cool, and I also get to do it for Venom Month. Like you can see here on the shoulder, it's matte. This is the point when ToyBiz reached the point where they decided for Venom figures they're no longer going to make them just look like a big dude, a smooth costume with like monster head, monster claws. And eventually with Symbiotes they just decided, okay, we're gonna make them look monstrous with a bunch of veins and tendrils and stuff, or like ooze and stuff coming off of their body. He definitely looks quite evil, which that's really cool here. You can see all the details here on the back. It looks really cool how they sculpted all this on. So it looks like, I don't know, it kind of looks like he's an all-black symbiote with like red kind of spreading on him. Like the red's kind of spreading. You see it's going from his arm here, that's already kind of red, and then you can see the red parts covering here on the hands. With all the sculpted detail here on the fingers and the hand, they didn't skimp out details even on like the hinge. Like you can see when you bend the hinges here on the arm, you can see they on the wrist, they sculpted the detail there along with the wrist here. Same thing on the other one. I don't know if they did it with the foot joints. They didn't do it as much with the foot joints. They kind of did a little bit. Then the feet are sculpted too. I will say the hands are sculpted a little bit better than the feet. The feet are still sculpted good, but the hands are just kind of a little bit better. But that aside, it's still really good. I like the red parts going down. It kind of makes me think of Spider Carnage, how Spider Carnage has a similar design, like the webs going down. These are all these are all black, but they still have the same pattern as the red, so I feel like these could have been red. The ab crunch kind of sucks on this a little bit, but they did sculpt it all the way up into the ab crunch there. They sculpted it on the inside here, which, turn on the flash there. They sculpted it inside here, which that's really cool too. They didn't just leave it like flat plastic, they actually sculpted it. And if you angle the chest, that's as far back as he goes, which is kind of unfortunate. They didn't sculpt it really up in there, because what are the odds you're going to see that? They sculpted that as well on the ball joints. They added it pretty much everywhere that you would be able to see it from. The only issue I have with this is, like I said, the ab crunch is, like, that's as far forward as he goes, which that's decent. And then that's as far back as he goes. That's like his resting position, that's back. The paint apps are a little simple on this guy, but not in a bad way, like he's mostly black with red here, but if you look at the red here, you can see he has all sorts of, move my camera forward, he has all sorts of detail there. Like it's not just one red, there's multiple reds here. You can see darker burgundy there, a lot of shading here. Like if I rotate the joint, you can see where the joint starts, there's a bunch of shading in there. Some of these lines he has on him are also painted. Burgundy wash here in the body. The tongue is mostly just this flat, like dark brownish. Actually, no, never mind, it's not. There's a little bit of very hard to see, but there's a little bit of red here and there on the tongue. His teeth are not this white color, which is cool. I don't like when Venom figures, or Symbiote figures, when they have white teeth. It just looks kind of weird, because why would they have white teeth? You can see, comparing his teeth to his eyes, his teeth are this, I don't even know how to explain that, like a creamy pudding kind of color to it, which looks pretty cool. The gums are also this burgundy color that matched the tongue. And the teeth are really nicely sculpted on the bottom. On the bottom, the teeth look really good. If we move his tongue out of the way, it's not really moving too good. But yeah, you can see the tongue, or the teeth, are sculpted really good on the bottom. They're all individual pieces. The top teeth look a little less good. You can see his claws are enormous compared to Venom. His claws are like the size of Venom's arm almost, you know? Look at that. It's like the size of Venom's upper arm, which I don't know why they gave Carnage such huge arms. It looks really cool. ToyBiz sometimes, oh man, his legs are a little bit too small. Admittedly, they could be a little bit bigger, but the arms being huge just makes it look more dynamic. It looks cooler than just having a generic normal-sized arms on a monster character, you know? Come on, man. He keeps falling over because this ankle is loose, and the detail is phenomenal. It's a little bit like paint, either paint chipping here or like messed up paint apps or something. I don't know. Here on the arms, the weird thing is, on this arm right here, they actually didn't sculpt any of the symbiote. They just kind of drew it on. Here they did sculpt it, and here they did. On this arm, they did. Oh, that's weird. I never noticed. They actually sculpted on the symbiote, like, tendrils going down his arm. They sculpted on this one. On this one, right here, for some reason, they did sculpt it. It's incredibly subtle, but the pattern just looks, if we line both arms like this, you can see the pattern on his left arm looks kind of weird compared to the right. That's weird. I never noticed that. I think it's kind of funny how there's just one black section that just doesn't have any of the red on it. I think that looks cool. They have like the smaller white eye, and then it has like a curl, like the black outline for the eye kind of curls up here. I think that looks really cool. Either way, this is really cool. Let's take a look at the posability here. So the head can look down all the way. He can't look up. Like, that's his neutral position. That is up, which is kind of unfortunate. He can rotate. He can rotate all the way around, but his head kind of does this weird rotation where it gets kind of caught right here, but it rotates all the way around, sort of. The arms go all the way around. They're ratcheted now, which ToyBiz started doing ratcheted joints in like 2005. The arms go up this high, which I wish they could go up a bit higher. His knee is loose too. His joints are kind of loose, which is unfortunate. He has upper arm rotation. You get a single joint in the elbow, which, I mean, having a double joint elbow would kind of make this look a little weird. You get a hinge in the wrist here. At first I thought, when I first got it, now I know that he doesn't. At first I thought he had like the hinge rotation at the wrist. Kind of like Venom, he has the hinge and rotation at the wrist instead of having like two independent pieces. Which no, he just has a hinge in the wrist, and you can close the fingers and open them. I do find finger joints did not be the most useful in some scenarios, but for me, for this one, you kind of have like his relaxed hand. Not much of a fist, but then you have like an open splay hand, like he's reaching out to grab you, you know? So to me, that's kind of how I use them. I don't always use them like, oh, trying to make a fist. It's more like, he has like a grabby hand, you know, or something like that. The ab crunch, like I said, is kind of a little unfortunate. Kind of my only issue with the figure, sort of. Rotation here on the waist, which is, you know, pretty good. The legs kick forward, not all the way 90 degrees, but if you move them up, you can a bit more. They go back pretty much all the way, so he can almost do the splits like this. If we straighten these legs out here, yeah, he can pretty much do the splits like this. So that's really cool. Look at that. He can do the splits like that. Most Spider-Man figures can't do that, especially nowadays. You get a single bend, or no, double bend in the elbow, rotation here in the thigh. You get an ankle pivot, which on this foot is not as good as this one. I think because some of these figures it's just been played with and stuff, some joints are just kind of weird. The ankle pivot works really good. The foot goes all the way forward, all the way back. The toe bends up a bit. You can bend it down as well. So that's pretty cool. On the bottom of his foot, this one says ToyBiz 2006. It doesn't say ToyBiz Worldwide anymore, so that's kind of interesting. And then made in China. Also, I like how it's not really something you'd notice or something really. It's just kind of a thing that you can see the foot is kind of has like an indentation right there. And you can kind of see a Venom or the toe. You can see the toes here on this foot, not as much on this one. And the imprint on the bottom of the foot here is not the same. This one's you can very clearly see the outline on it, whereas this one you can't. Is he able to hold onto a Spider-Man figure? And he can. Yeah, he can hold onto him a little bit. Yeah, unfortunately his legs are kind of loose, so he can kind of balance it. Look at that, that's pretty cool. I don't think there's any other Toxin figures that are this size that can do that. The figure hands can hold it. They can hold it surprisingly good, so that's really good. But yeah, but either way, that's all for this video. Let me know what you think about this figure, and I will see you guys in the next day of Venom Month. Wow.